Welcome to United Jews channel.
Good night, everybody. My name is Tatiana Kerzhner, and we have Krista, Michael, Igor, and thanks everyone for coming. Today, we're going to be talking about liberalism and social justice. It's an interesting topic on everybody's mind right now, and I have a question for all of you. I have several liberal friends who were always voting Democrat, and this time they were on a Democratic train, and then this train took a sharp left turn, and they fell off the train. And some of them were picked up by the next train, a Republican train, and others were like still there thinking, what the hell happened? Where am I? I don't understand what's going on. And we have all sorts of people right now who used to be Democrats. Some are still Democrats, diehard Democrats. Others just totally went away from it. Like, I don't want to deal with these people. And others are like, still don't know what's going on. And I think people who don't know what's going on are a lot of American Jews who hated Trump so much, and they still think they're in a kind of status quo space, but they are not. Things are happening so fast, and they're just lost people. I believe they don't understand what's happening. But that's my opinion, and I wanted to open the floor for all of us. And just one comment, this is a roundtable discussion. We all are friends. We don't fight. We politely explain our point of view. At the end, we should kind of agree to at least something, agree to disagree, but it should be a civil conversation. So welcome, everyone.
I'm trying to set kind of definitions straight here. Basically, I noticed that even speaking of liberalism and conservatism, everyone understands it incredibly different. And I would like to kind of say it in my opinion, what is liberalism and what is conservatism in the beginning, without like taking position yet, at least, because to me, liberalism is just a notion that most of the solutions can come from government and basically group needs and their and group things above individual rights and above individual needs. So to me, that's the main notion of liberalism. As a conservative, usually, and again, and on people on both sides don't bend this theories and this ideology to their understanding. Same with conservatives. Mostly, it's it is a right of an individual above the right of the country, of the government, of such sort of thing, and above the group. So when we talk about it, we have to kind of speak up and say what we understand those movements are. And a lot of things that happened recently, to me, mixed all this up. On one side we have person who runs and wins the presidency in 2016, who basically a Republican and running as a conservative candidate, truly conservative, and he he's maybe not a person that belongs to the government in the sense that he doesn't believe in government, yet his solutions are coming from government. And then on the left side, that movement began even before that, you know, before Obama and all of that, that everything moved to the left in the sense of, oh, we individuals are nothing. Every solution, every problem has to be solved by government, and nothing can be done by individuals, by businesses, by everything. If we find a solution, we have to take over and say that government will solve it. So to me, that's the main difference in what came of it recently, and that what moved me from middle to one of the directions. So then I'll let you guys speak up.
Thanks, Igor. Krista, Michael, what's your opinion on this?
Me personally, I mostly subscribe to the classic liberalism definition. So to me, the individual freedom is the most important. Where equality before the law is fine. I mean, when we go to the consent of the governed, this takes, I mean, as the previous speaker said, the modern trend takes it a lot too far. So it's too much. So I don't think modern liberalism as we understand it in this country, it has nothing to do with the classic liberalism at all, because freedom of expression and all the individual freedoms are actually being suppressed as a result of people trying to position themselves fighting for social justice. That's what I'm saying.
Michael,
So,
can I ask you what individual freedoms you feel like are being suppressed?
Freedom of expression, for example, in colleges, I have experience of having 2 children, having gone through the California school system, university school system, and they both have reported to me the, I would say, toxic atmosphere that exists on the university campuses in California when people are afraid to speak their mind. They're getting harassed, they're getting heckled, almost attacked for expressing.
Because it's a right-leaning thing?
Yeah, because it's a libertarian leaning thing, because it's not the social justice, what they understand as social justice, their sort of flavor of social justice, put it that way. So we've seen many times where people are not allowed to speak at colleges, and they're not allowed to speak at colleges by the rule of mob, essentially. And the professors are not allowed to say what they want in classes because they're getting reported and they're getting suspended, and there's all kinds of things. And I had many reports from both of my kids. And one of them was in the public university, and the other one was actually in the private university, USC.
Do you remember any specific examples of the things that they wanted to say that were getting reactions?
Yeah. The professors saying things in classes that people didn't like, so the students reported their feeling of being unsafe in class and demanding that the professors be suspended. I don't think we have enough time for this here in this session to enumerate all of those, but I mean,
okay. So
Google will provide many examples of what's going on.
What else in the government? Because I mean, I guess I hear you saying that you feel like this form of liberalism, and I want to respond to you, and I don't want to interrupt you too much, but this form of liberalism that's present, I'm assuming, is taking away people's individual rights. And I'm just wondering, aside from, university expression, what you mean, because I'm not necessarily seeing that in a pattern in our society. So
you don't listen. You you don't hear it because people are silent. They are afraid.
Exactly.
People are losing their jobs. What do you think? If I worked, I don't work actually because I have mobility issues. But if I did work, you would never see me here. I would have never said what I'm saying here now because I would be afraid to lose my jobs. And all of my friends are like that. So I actually want to applaud you, Michael and Igor, for being here because I know how difficult it is. And I hope you are safe because I don't know. I don't know. I have so many friends who are just, they'll never say anything to you or to anybody at work. They can only say in small circles where they feel safe. And I don't understand how people don't notice this. There's a war against conservatives or against people with other point of view. I would say not even conservatives, doesn't matter. If you don't agree with something, you can't say it because
yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, I totally get that.
and
Yeah, thankfully, I don't work for Google.
great.
If I did, I would be in trouble, and I would probably have left the company by now if I worked
Or
there.
they might have made you leave. You don't know. I mean,
Okay.
who knows?
Yeah, I would have probably left on my own volition because of the atmosphere. People have been telling me things about these types of environments, and we all know. But this is Bay Area also. This is somewhat special.
Can I just nail this down though? Because what I hear you guys saying is that there's a social problem where people aren't free and there's ideas that are being pushed down, you know, maybe
Absolutely.
conservative viewpoint. But what your point that you made was, I'm more interested, I guess, in, I mean, that's something to talk about, but legislation, I think actual hard mechanisms in our society that you feel are squelching individual freedoms on a policy level.
No, not the hard mechanisms. No, it's the rule of mob is what it is. It's the rule of mob instituted in colleges and in workplaces and on the street.
So it's more social thing that you're criticizing.
Oh yeah, my first direct experience with this was when I went to listen to Trump in San Jose in 2016, just before he was elected. And I saw people come in and listen to what he had to say. And then when people walked out, there was a mob on the street beating people up bloody and jumping on cars. And and that was only because they came to listen to a person and they don't like what this person has to say.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I like everything that he says, but I want to be able in this society to come to a political rally and listen and not being beaten up on the street when I walk out. And police did nothing. And this was happening. And you remember what happened in Berkeley after that, just before the 2016 election. Just look it up. Look up the Berkeley riots.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So it's the rule of mob, is what it is.
So you know,
and I fault our government, the state government in particular, for not being harsh enough and firm enough with these people to distance themselves from this type of behavior, because they silently condone that. Because otherwise, if they didn't, this thing would have been stopped a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sorry, Michael, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, so this is what I wanted to say, that this, what they call liberalism today, it's the left liberalism, I suppose. There's probably right liberalism as well, but the left liberalism, to me, it has nothing to do with the classical definition of liberalism, because it denies some people individual freedoms to speak and individual freedoms to assemble and not being harassed for it.